is motherland. This is motherland. This is motherland. All right, good evening and welcome. It is Radio Biafra, Motherland, and of course we are coming to you this evening live and direct all the way from Johannesburg. The time standing here at 10 minutes past 6 p.m. in the evening here in Johannesburg. Of course, it should be the same minutes past the top of the hour, 5 p.m. in Biafra land. That is if you are listening to me in Biafra land. And of course, we are live, we are direct, and Chukwu Kikabiama, he is bearing us witness this evening. Therefore, permit me to welcome you if you are only joining us right now. This is a live presentation of Radio Biafra. Hello, Motherland. Of course, it is a great day today, I must confess. And today I feel like preaching. Yes, I feel like preaching. Of course, our interactive section, which we had on the 4th of January, I think it was 2 days ago, it was hot. It was hot, and of course, people are still talking about it, and we are going to do more of that in the near future because it is for the same restoration effort of the kingdom of God on this planet Earth. I want to welcome you, please. Permit me to do so because it is my pleasure to welcome Biafrans all around the world. And if you are on Facebook Live listening to me, I don't think you should listen alone. You should ensure that you invite others. You should ensure that you share the broadcast, extensively so that every other people will join because what we are doing here is spiritual. And please permit me once again to introduce myself. My name's, of course, Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha. I hail from Umowa in Olo province of Biafra land. Of course, it is a place that the hopelessness of Zadimba is busy killing and maiming our people and chasing them out of town. Of course, somebody wrote something, with regards to how our people are fleeing Olo. These days, the youth, everybody is running away from Olo. I responded harshly, but of course, I knew what people were going to say. Why don't you come back and do it yourself? Why don't you come back and get killed? I say to them, well, I am here, you are there. That's just the way it is. If I am the one who is there and you are here, of course, I will still do what I have to do as a person, as an individual. But the bottom line is that I can never run away from my ancestral home. I can never give up Biafra land. I can never give up the land where my bones will be laid. Because if I run away from Biafra land, it means I will be a fugitive for the rest of my life. Not just only me, even my children and the next generation. But of course, next time I will of course discuss this matter and I will tell you, or rather read out my response to that, kind of saying. I know they are armed, I know they are equipped, I know they are killer machines, but still, that is not the reason for you to desert your ancestral home. There is no justification. There is no justification. Trust me when I tell you. Because the truth remains, how many of us are they going to kill at the end of the day? That's a very important question. That is the question you are going to ask yourself. How many of us are they going to kill, that we have to leave, evacuate our ancestral home? My goodness me, it is not done. We are not even in the midst of war. So how much more if it is war? So what are you going to do? If you have to run away, for this uprising or whatever you may call it, I must tell you, trust me, it is an act of cowardness. I don't care what you say. You might say, but you can come and do it yourself. Why are you talking? Because you are over there. But still, the truth remains that the land belongs to us and we cannot give it up to a stranger. We cannot give it up to invaders. All right, let me welcome you once again. If you are joining me today, we are going to lecture. Today we are going to teach History 101. Today we are going to lecture. And of course, if you are listening, if you are hearing the sound of my voice, my goodness me, I say we are going to lecture. And what are we going to talk about today? I want to read out for you, my headlines, something that I use as a headline or title. Maybe it will interest you to invite others. It will interest you to stay put and listen to this great lecture. It said, they have destroyed the fabrics of our existence and made us scavengers around the world. Today, I am proudly a scavenger. It is a thought-provocative historical expose here on the University of Radio Biafra. And trust me when I tell you how we have become scavengers. How they have succeeded in making us scavengers. Somebody was saying, but why would you say we are scavengers? Do you understand the meaning of scavengers? Well, that is the essence of this lecture. That is the essence of this teaching. That is the essence of me coming this evening so that we can educate ourselves. When you hear the word scavengers, what comes to your mind? But this evening, I'm going to bring it to a layman perspective. I'm going to expose, I'm going to introduce how they have destroyed the fabric of our existence. I'm going to expose the master plan, what it is that they expect to achieve, what it is that they have achieved already by making us a scavenger. You might not understand, but stay put and listen to me this evening. My goodness me, I'm going to break it down to a layman perspective. And I never stop using myself as a case study. And this evening, once again, Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha, I'm going to use myself as a case study. Because the reason why things happen to us in life is that we may use it to teach others. Is that we may use our life experience to teach, because you might be able to benefit one or two individuals. Do you know why people go to church and they do testimonies? The reason and the aim of testimonies is to edify other people. When they hear what God has done for you, it will edify them, it will make them strong. No matter whatever they are going through, they will have hope and faith that one day that the same thing, the same goodness will happen to them as well. And this is why this evening we are going to talk about scavengers. Scavengers, my goodness me. How did they make us scavengers? And why? And what was the master plan? That is what we are going to talk about this evening. And of course, I want to welcome you once again. Today is the 6th day of January, the year of our Lord, 2002. And you are tuned to the best radio station in the whole planet they call Earth. It is Radio Biafra, for goodness sake.
Africa music Mandela Day, so Biafra uprising. Me love Biafra, me no say lie. They try to cut out we so that my people can fly. But when we dey Naija, we go banana. Cause it never feel so good like down in Biafra land. Under the tree with a glass of wine, jumping a river when me ready for it. Biafra if you can take my heart away. I hope I never get carried away. Biafra love, I wanna feel my Biafra love. Do you really wanna feel my Biafra? Forever, forever. Biafra love, I wanna feel my Biafra love. I represent the citizens of Biafra. My Biafra, my Biafra love. Buffalo soldier, red rob Biafra, straight from my rival, fight for survival. Since 1965 I've been in this fight, waiting for the sun to shine on me so bright, not gonna lose this fight. Biafra is a reality, don't fight it, develop love, Jah gonna make way. Why I be why I be Biafra love, I wanna feel my Biafra love. Do you really wanna feel my Biafra? Forever, forever. Biafra love, I wanna feel my Biafra love. I represent the citizens of Biafra. My Biafra, my Biafra love. Jaja city, Jaja town. They wanna turn it in a dead man town. No. No foreign man can take my Biafra alone. I beg you, make you leave my Biafra alone. Lord of my mercy.
This is modern. This is modern. This is modern.
All right, welcome back once again. It is Radio Biafra and it is Motherland. Permit me to welcome you. If you are only joining now, please share this wide and near for those who are on Facebook Live, because we are going to preach the word of Chukwu Kikabiama, the gospel of truth, the gospel of Elohim, and the gospel of the restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra. And of course, this evening, I will be teaching the word scavengers. I know I've talked about it before. I know I've preached it before, but then there is a reason why we kept on emphasizing on that word scavengers, because my people are at ease in Egypt. My people, they are by the riverside of Babylon. Even when the heathen required them of a song, I needed my people to understand that being scattered around the world, it is not the best thing that have ever happened to us. Inasmuch as we felt that we have developed, we have achieved, of course, Elohim turned it for good for us. But there is a master plan, the reason why they wanted it to be so. And this evening, we will be looking at it, and then we will understand how they have destroyed the fabrics of our existence and how they have made us refugees. We are refugees living comfortably in another man's land. So that you can understand the reason why Biafra must be restored in our own time. But we are running along fast, and of course, before we go to that, we need to go into prayer. Very, very important. And when we return from our prayer, we will go straight to the lectures of today. Let us pray.
Allow me to worship Chukwu Kikabiama on behalf of the entire family listening right across the length and breadth of this very planet. Umu Chineke, all of you who are ordained, all of you who are destined to perform wonders, I welcome all of you. Now, I will present you to Chukwu Kikabiama in heaven. Therefore, our Father who resideth in heavens above, looking down upon the pain and the suffering of your children, as was foretold by those who has gone before us, that a day will come when the world will gang up, when all the children of darkness will congregate to prevail against your children. That time is now. We are in pain. We are in so much suffering that man cannot begin to comprehend it. We ask for your mercy. We ask for you to come and present and provide a way where there is none. We ask you, Chukwu Kikabiama, if we came amara n'ime ndụ ụmụ gị niile ndị IPOB n'ebe niile dị iche iche ruo ebe niile ụwa sọtụrụ ka ịdị mma gị na ebere gị biko gbaso ha ụbọchị niile nke ndụ ha. Ọkwa asụsụ eluigwe. We call upon you this evening. The vultures are congregating. The saboteurs are rising up. We are beginning to identify them. And we are dealing with them. We ask you to give us the strength. We ask you for courage. Chukwu Abịama Benigwe, we ask you for every ounce of determination and resoluteness. Make us as hard as steel, as only you can do. Baptize us in your word, in your knowledge, in your truthfulness, and in your strength. Make it impossible for our enemies to come close to us. Destroy them before they come very close. We will be tempted, of course. Our defenses will be tried without a shadow of a doubt. Sometimes there may be breaches, but in the end we prevail because that is your word and that is your promise. This evening we hold on resolutely to that very command of yours. Your own spoken word. The word that you gave to your children when you said to them that they should not worship any idol, they should not bow before any graven image. We have made mistakes in our lives. We have bowed before European idols. We have done everything but worship you in truth and honesty. But now, having realized the errors of our ways, we present ourselves before you, that you may do with us as you please. So it was prayed thousands of years ago. That same prayer will re-echo because we are nothing without you. We are nothing without you. We can have the best defenses in the whole world. We can procure the finest anti-jamming equipment available. But it is you that will defend your inheritance. You will defend Biafra. You know that we are honest and truthful people. You know that we preach this gospel in the knowledge that your children must be free in the land of the living. That they may go back and worship you in Zion as they have done thousands of years ago. This is our prayer, now and always, because we are your children. You can't abandon us to the forces of evil and darkness. That is not your will. And it can never be. That is why today, tomorrow and always, as you have called us to undertake this very monumental and epic task, as you have determined that your word must be preached in the land, that very land you gave to our ancestors thousands of years ago, so shall it be done in our lifetime. Allow us to be worthy to serve thee. Chukwu Abịama, allow us to be considered worthy to serve you. You know we speak the truth. Our enemies are liars. They are cheats and they are killers. They are bloodthirsty bastards, all of them. All of them bar none. They have brought their lies to bear upon all their dealings. Their tongue is very spiteful against those of them who are righteous before your sight. Please don't allow shame to befall your children. Don't allow shame to befall your name, because we answer your name, we bear your name. That is why today we make this very prayer in the sure knowledge that Biafra will be restored as your own kingdom upon the face of the earth. That you will be worshipped every blessed day of our lives, as our children will do, and so will their children. Until time everlasting we have prayed in your name. Ise, Ise, Ise.
Get it online on your mobile. This is IPOB Community Radio. Radio Biafra, the first and the last.
Every day. Just because of the wars, one Nigeria. We need freedom now, like never before. Papa Biko, take us out from Gomorrah. Carry your children, come on for Egypt. It beat me like a war, it beat me like a local. Return to Moses where you been give us. My people just they die. My people just they burn. Return to Joshua where you been give us. Give us the David where you been give us. All we need is one love, one nation, one Biafra. All we need is one love, one nation, one Biafra, not Niger. As they know what make we live, fire. Show them the disaster where you been show Pharaoh. Yeah, as they know what make we be. Bring back the flocks, give them the dirt. All we need is peace, unity, every day, make we there on our own, may they stay for their place. All we need is Biafra. Yeah. All we need is peace, unity, every day, make we there on our own, may they stay for their place. All we need is Biafra, freedom. Papa Biko, take us out from Gomorrah. We pray. Carry your children, come on for Egypt. It beat me like a war, it beat me like a local. Return to Moses where you been give us. My people just they die. My people just they burn. Return to Joshua where you been give us. My people just they die. My people just they burn. Return to Joshua where you been give us. As the matter one be, we not be zombie. Nigga area dirty. Why you plenty? All we need is one love, one nation, one Biafra, not the Niger. All we need is one love, one nation, one Biafra, not the Niger. And I can never move one in when you come Mazi the leader of IPOB worldwide. I can IPOB no one in the Netamika Ila, if you're not Judaism worldwide.
Get it online on your mobile. This is IPOB Community Radio. Radio Biafra, the first and the last. This is modern. This is modern. is motherland.
All right, welcome back. Of course, it is Motherland, and I welcome you once again if you are joining me this evening. Of course, this lecture of this evening is going to be very relaxed. I'm not going to rush it, and I'm not going to sound like one of those preachers in a pulpit in a church. I'm going to take it nice and slow because I need it to penetrate and I need to drive it home so that our people can hear and understand. Now, I need to tell you what actually provoked me, because I've actually preached this gospel before, but there is something that provoked me that made me want to preach it again. I want to go back to it again. Now, I got, a message, a WhatsApp message from one of my brothers, as you know, I'm from Olo. And then he was talking about something, I don't know who wrote it, but he forwarded it to me. And the message, of course, read, Olo communities deserted for fear of being wiped out. Let me read it again. Olo communities deserted for fear of being wiped out. And then, of course, they titled the message, Save Our Souls, SOS. So when I saw that topic, the theme of this WhatsApp message, I got upset. It took me back to remember something that happened even before I was born. Or immediately, of course, I wasn't there during the Civil War. I was born after the Civil War. But it took me back for what happened during those days. Now, I'm going to read this message, but I'm not going to read it in full because it's quite a lot. I'm just going to read, the top part of it. Then I will tell you why this message got me infuriated and why and how I arrived at this topic of we are scavengers. My goodness me. Let me read my topic again for today before I start reading this message. And I want you to listen to me, please, and pay close attention. My topic today says, they destroyed the fabrics of our existence and made us scavengers around the world. Today, I'm Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha. I am proudly scavenger. It is thought-provocative, and it is a historical expose. And only here on Radio Biafra, not just any other radio, but a university of Radio Biafra. So, how do I arrive at this topic, somebody may ask? I told you my brother sent me a WhatsApp message, and it's titled, Save Our Souls, SOS. And it read again, all communities deserted for fear of being wiped out. Now the WhatsApp message read as follows. The Olo Indigenous for Peace Initiative, OIPI, hereby call on the security agencies and Governor Hope Uzodimma. Can you believe that? They are even calling the same person that is killing them, the same person that is chasing them out of town. They are calling on him to save them. Let me continue. So they call him to stop the prevailing mass killings and destruction of the indigenous communities of Ata, Obo, Omotanze, and Oboro in Olo, Imo State. We also call on the Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, the Director General of the Department of State Service, DSS, Yusuf Magaji, and Bichi, and the Chief of Army Staff Farouk Yahaya to constitute panels of investigation and fish out the officers and soldiers that are exhibiting impunity and lack of knowledge of the rule of engagement. There is something that I love here. Inasmuch they are calling the enemy to come and save them, they also recognize that the people who are perpetrating that evil are the same people they are calling. You are calling the IG of police, and it is the police that are killing you. You are calling the chief of staff of the army, and it is the army that is killing you. And now you are calling the same people of the same extract to come and save your life. All right, I'm not going to go in details of this message like I said, but I'm going to tell you what was my response. My response was brutal. My response was a bit of angered. And of course, they told me where to get off. I expected that. But you see one thing about the truth, you have to speak the truth. Then I responded to my brother and I said to him, how can owners of the land desert their ancestral home because of fear of being wiped out? If our fathers had deserted that part of the world called Olo at any stage out of cowardness or fear, I am not sure we would all be in this forum answering Omowa in diaspora. Now, this is my town, because he sent the message, and of course, it was also in our platform called Omowa. As you know, Omowa is in Olo. That I'm asking him if our fathers has run away from Olo for the fear of dying. Remember, during the Civil War, if my fathers have run away because they are afraid that war would enter Olo, now I'm asking this, my brother and other brothers in that forum, would we have been together today answering Omowa in diaspora? Then I continue, I say to him, our generation must not disappoint our children. We must safeguard and protect their inheritance, or risk being referred as cowards and our graves spat on and urinated on by females. I know someone will tell me we don't have weapons. I don't want to die. And another one will tell me, Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha, why don't you go home yourself and fight? But the truth still remains. You are there in Biafra land. You are there right now as I'm talking in Olo. And I, Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha, I am not there. I am here in South Africa. Why should I go home and fight when you are there? I don't know if it makes sense. Should I go home and fight because Olo does not belong to you? Should I leave South Africa and go back home and fight because Olo is only mine and it's not yours? I mean, it's more like my brother. Let's assume I have a brother who is in the village, and somebody comes to burn down my father's property. And that property belongs to me and my brother because we came from the same father. And then he calls me on the phone and says, listen, brother, this man wants to burn down this place. And I say to him, so what do you want me to do? He said, no, you need to come back. You need to come back home. But he's there, and it's our father's home. I don't know if I'm making sense. You know this whole thing of come back home yourself and fight. You are there in Europe, you are there in America, and you are talking, come back in Biafra land and fight. That is the most dumbest argument, the most dumbest thing ever said on this planet Earth. Because you are there. That is how it is at the moment. And you who is on the ground should take advantage for the fact that you're on the ground and do the little you can do. You don't have to wait for me to come back before we save our land, something that belongs to me and you. So I said to him, no, you are there in Biafra land, and of course I am here in the diaspora. Our law is ours, and the invaders are strangers. We fight to keep what was bequeathed to us as inheritance for the next generations. If we run when there is no full-blown war, I wonder what we will do when there is real war. Again, Allah is ours, our motherland, to keep, or we can keep on running like cowards and scavengers forever. Remember, this is my response to the WhatsApp message that I received. I said to him, Allah is ours to keep. Allah is ours to fight and protect. Or we can decide we are not going to fight to keep Allah. We are not going to fight to protect Allah. Rather, we are going to run forever like cowards and scavengers for the rest of our lives. Mark the word scavengers, because that is our topic today, and I'm coming to that. Please bear with me. Be patient. I am going somewhere. At the end of the day, you will love the fact that you listen to this gospel. So I said to him, we have to fight to keep Olo, or we can run like cowards and scavengers forever. We rather die fighting or run and be remembered as a generation of cowards. We are sons of great ancient warriors of Ndibo and can never ever run from the uncircumcised. So that was what, I submitted in response. So why did I read this, message to you this evening? Because I am building a background. I am building a foundation to where I'm going this evening because I want to preach. My goodness me. What am I talking about this evening? They have destroyed the fabrics of our existence. What is the fabrics of our existence? What is it that binds all together? What is this that is the essence of our living as a people, as a human? That is what they have destroyed. And why did they destroy it? And how did they destroy it? Very simple. Very simple strategy is what they used to destroy the fabrics of our existence. And there's a reason why they did that. There is a reason why they did that. And that reason why they destroyed the fabrics of our existence is paying dividends today. They achieved it. It's not whether they're going to achieve it. They have already achieved it. Let me go straight to what I have for you this evening. At the end of the Civil War, you remember the 20 pounds scenario. 20 pounds, a case of starvation. People don't understand why our fathers were given 20 pounds. It is more than what you think. Some people believe that the reason why our fathers were given 20 pounds is because they want to impoverish us. Yes, of course, they want to impoverish us, but it is more than that. People thought the 20 pounds scenario was just, an immediate thing. They want to do what they want to do at that particular time. No, it was a project of many years to come. The 20 pounds scenario was a project of over 100 years. I don't know if you're following me. It was not a project to punish our fathers then because they fought the war. No, it was not a project to punish them and make them poor because they fought against the state of Nigeria at that moment. No, it was a vision. The 20 pounds scenario, the 20 pounds, which is a case of starvation, was 100 years or over 100 years project. That is what Britain and the zoo called Nigeria strategized and executed. And hello, it worked perfectly well. I believe at that particular time, when our parents were being given those 20 pounds, they probably were upset, they were angry, but their mind never told them that this whole thing is not about now. That the people who are going to pay the price of this 20 pounds is not our parents, but their children. Their children, their children, unto the fourth generation. Because it is a master plan, a clean master plan. Of course, which was headed by Awolowo. At the end of the war, there was a panel that was formed. It is called a Nigerian panel. That panel was formed, and I'm going to tell you what was the job of that panel. And that panel was headed by Obafemi Awolowo. That panel came to a conclusion after they have sat and schemed with the help of Britain. Don't forget, with the help of Britain, of course. They came to a conclusion that every excuse me, that every Igbo person, of course, they always love to use the word Igbo. And you know why? They love to use that word Igbo because when they want to marginalize us, when they want to, destroy us, they call us Igbo. But when they want to divide us and rule, they call you Ijo, Urobo, Itsekiri, Ibanke, Ibibio, this, that, and that. That is the strategy. So when I use the word Igbo, understand that I'm talking about Biafrans. After all, we are all Igbos. So they came to a conclusion that every Igbo person who had an account in any Nigerian bank before the Civil War was to receive 20 pounds. A symbol of starvation, a generational starvation. Of course, the year was 1970. I haven't been born then. And it never really mattered how much you had in the bank. You can have 1 million naira, 1 million Nigerian pounds at that particular time, or you can have 1,000 Nigerian pounds. It does not matter. You will receive a 20 pound as long as you are a Biafran. That was the strategy. The panel, they didn't care. They didn't care. Whatever it is that you have, you just have to receive 20 pounds. Because they're going somewhere with it. They are going somewhere with it. They could give you more if they wanted. But the plan, the scheme was 20 pounds. We must continue. And this whole idea and this whole exercise of giving our fathers 20 pounds was against the whole agreement. It was in contrast with the term no victor, no vanquish, because at the end of the Civil War, they said no victor, no vanquish, which means there is no winner and there is no losers. We are one. We're going to be one big happy family. We're going to be one big nation of Nigeria. A lie from the pit of hell. That was the promise Yakubu Gowon made to Biafrans. No victor, no vanquish. My goodness me. It's more like dangling a carrot in the front of a rabbit. More of dangling a carrot in the front or in the face of a rabbit while you catch them. Gowon said to us, no victor, no vanquish, we are one Nigeria. But it was a lie from the pit of hell. There was supposed to be reconciliation, reconstruction, and rehabilitation program in Biafra land. There was supposed to be the triple R. The triple R was the agreement that after the no victor, no vanquish whole, hoo-ha-ha promise, they are going to be the triple R. Reconciliation between Biafra and the so-called Nigeria. Reconstruction of the damages they have made in Biafra land. The bombing of our homes, the bombing of the hospitals, the bombing of the marketplaces, the bombing of our ancestral home. They are going to be reconciliation between us and the so-called Nigeria. Then the second R, they said, they are going to be reconstruction of Biafra land. We are going to reconstruct Biafra. We are going to, get rid of the mess, get rid of all the rubbles, all the rubbish, clean up Biafra land, and reconstruct Biafra land to be a new city, a new town, a new, state, a new whatever, a new place, a new region. That was the promise of Gowon and Britain to Biafran people. Now, the third R is rehabilitation. They are going to rehabilitate the people of Biafra. They are going to rehabilitate our fathers. Those who are injured, they're going to ensure that they are taken care of. Our young men, they're going to ensure that they go back, to work. Our children go back to school. Our life rehabilitated. That was the promise. The 3 R's. But at the end of the day, it was all lies. At the end of the day, it was all lies. I am building a foundation because I'm going somewhere. And I want to tell you this evening why we are scavengers. Why they destroyed the fabrics of our existence and how they did it. And that is what I'm telling you now. If you are listening, you will be digesting, you will understand. They know exactly what they are doing. And they're going somewhere with it. It wasn't, a plan which they expect, to bear fruit immediately. No. That plan is bearing fruit today after 50 years or over 50 years of the Nigerian, genocidal war against Biafra. That plan is bearing fruit right now. And that is why Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha is in South Africa scavenging. And that is why you who is listening to me from Europe, you are there because you are scavenging. That was the plan, the master plan. It was planned that today you will be in Europe and I will be in South Africa and the other person will be in America. The other person will be in Asia. That was the master plan. That was the bigger picture. Because if there are any people on earth that are so patient, they can wait for 100 years for a plan to come together, it is the Fulanese. It is the Fulanis. They are very patient. We Biafrans, we are the most impatient people on earth. We Biafrans are the most impatient people on earth. We are like the children of Israelites. That is whom we are. Tell Moses to go to the mountain to bring the 10 commandments. After 1 week, we don't see Moses. Oh boy, we go scatter everywhere. We go scatter. Even the caretaker, where Moses live for ground, even Aaron, where they for ground, we go breaking head. We go tell and say, oh boy, Moses don't perform. Make you come make us golden image, make we worship. Who born monkey? We are the most impatient of them all. Our leader Mazi Ikechukwu incarceration is a case study of who we are as a people. Very impatient. But Fulanese, when they were giving us 20 pounds, they know exactly what they are doing. They know that the result is not now. They know that by the time that 20 pounds begin to bring dividends to them, our fathers, they are all dead. Even our grandfathers, they are all dead. It will be their children. Some of them won't even understand what is happening to them. You go to church, you cry, you pray and pray, you fast. But your problem is not the devil. Your problem was a master plan by your enemy. That's not what But we Biafrans of this day, we IPOBians, we came and said, no, we want to ask what killed our father. Let's see how that thing that killed our father will kill us. And that is the question we're asking, and we are getting answers. So what am I talking about? The 3 R's: reconciliation, reconstruction, and rehabilitation, which they promised the people of Biafra, Otuaoneji, because they know exactly what they are doing. So this war, of course, I will not bore you by telling you all about it. It was the most brutal war the world have ever witnessed. It was so brutal, I must tell you. But we must continue. So now, how did they destroy the fabrics of our existence? How? And I'm going to tell you. When your father who had 1 million pounds, your father who had 1 million pounds in the bank received 20 pounds in exchange of his millions. Can you imagine how devastated your father was? Can you imagine how devastated your father was? Because he is looking. He had 9 children. 9 children. And these 9 children has to get back to school. These 9 children has to be trained properly. 9 children. Maybe 5 of them are male and 4 are girls. They have to go to school. Your father, my father, had a sleepless night trying to think, how do I do this better? How do I manage these 20 pounds properly in order to take care of these 9 children? Remember, before the war, probably he was rich and he was taking care of everybody. And his money were in the bank. Because what happened to some people was they banked all their money. Because they cannot carry their money while they are running during the war. They banked all their money. And now, Gowon and Awolowo use that money to their advantage. Now, do you really think that the brain behind this whole idea, the brain behind this whole idea was the Fulanis? Of course it was not. This was a genius. It was a genius idea. And it can only come from the British. Seize all their money, give them 20 pounds. Remember, most of these British advisors, they are philosophers. They are intellectuals. They can calculate from now till 100 years what will happen and how do we make it happen. They can manipulate life. They can manipulate what will happen in the next 50 years. And they know exactly what to do. They know how to play the chess game. They know how to put 1 and 2 together, connect the T's, connect the dots, and they get results. And that's why they say to the Fulanis, give them 20 pounds overall, across the board, irrespective of what they have. We are looking at 50 years and 100 years plan, vision, 100 years. And so we were given the 20 pounds. And here is your father. Here is my father with 20 pounds. Looking at 9 children. Doesn't know what to do with 9 children. Doesn't know how to go and how to come. Now, this is the destruction and how it started. So what did your father did? He called all of you together, the whole 9 children. And he said to you guys, he said to the boys, listen, as you know, there is no money. Our money has been taken away from us and we have nothing. I want to train the girls in school. Are you listening to me? I want to train the girl child in school. You know, your father have to make you feel good. They don't want to get you upset. They probably will tell you, you know, it's good for a girl to go to school so that she can get a good husband. It's good for her to go to school and learn a good skills. When she come out from school, she will get married right away. He's trying to be polite. He's trying to be nice so that you, the male, will not get upset. Then he said to you again, now the boys, this is what we are going to do. Ikechukwu, you are going to go and learn how to be a carpenter. Nnemeka, ige soro dedegi Luke ga Lagos bara ya boy. Emeka, he will send the 3 of them for boy apprenticeship. That is how apprenticeship was born. Of course, we have that, in us. Of course, we do take people and they serve us, we settle them. But after the war, apprenticeship gained momentum. All the boys are going for apprenticeship. So you follow your uncle, maybe Ikechukwu wanted to go to school. Ikechukwu had a vision of becoming a doctor. Ikechukwu had a vision of becoming an engineer. But because of the situation, our father have 20 pounds. What can he do? He cannot train me in the university. So the bottom line is that I have to go to Lagos and learn trade and learn apprenticeship so that I will be settled with money. He did not stop there. Now, Ikechukwu, Nnemeka, Chukwuemeka, and Emeka have to leave home now. How many is left? 4 girls. There is no more boy in the house. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? The fabric of our existence is the togetherness. The fabric of our existence is that you came into a village. You came into a compound. You see the whole children. You see the boys and the girls. But after the Civil War, you can walk into a compound. It looks so dry. Probably you will see 2 girls, no men. You ask, where are the boys? They are in Lagos. They are in Onitsha. They are doing business. They are learning trade. Now, the fabric of the existence has been destroyed. Now, these boys I'm talking about probably will be in their 15, 16 years old, 20 years old, 18 years old. And that was the time they need to be at home and listen to their father and learn from their father and understand what life is all about and understand history and know who is their grandfather, what made him tick. This is how many of us did not learn anything from our family, because we have to leave home very early. I'm still talking within. I haven't even gotten to the overseas level. We'll get there, because that time who is talking about Obodo is very far. So we started becoming scavengers already within Nigeria. The boys, they all leave home. The home become empty. The fabrics, the morality, the foundation of Onuoha family is no more anywhere to be found. That time I'm supposed to learn what Onuoha family is all about and what we are known for. I am not at home to learn it. I am in Lagos, I'm in Onitsha, learning business. Now, do you understand how the fabrics of our existence was destroyed? It was a plan. It was a plan. It's not an accident. It was planned for us as a people. Because the zoo called Nigeria, we are afraid. We don't trust these people. We don't trust Anyamiri. Because if we just allow them to be, when all these small children grows up tomorrow, they are going to fight us again. So we need to scatter them. We need to chase away their boys away from home. Who knows? They might go there and die and never come back home. Some of them might go back there and become armed robbers, become whatever, and never come back home again. It will only be the elderly women, the elderly men, and the girls at home. Are you listening? They believe that they are not going to, gather again. They are not going to form a quorum again. They are not going to come together again as a people and plan to do something against the Nigerian state. I beg your pardon. They're not going to come back again as a people and fight or ask questions about their freedom. That was the essence of the 20 pounds. And that was the reason why they want to destroy the fabrics of our existence, to scatter us as a people all around the world and make us scavengers. So we all disappeared. Some went to Lagos, some went to Onitsha, and then of course, to learn trade. And of course, we're happy. Some were happy, some were not, thinking that good thing is happening to us. My son is in Onitsha. He's learning how to do business. My son is in Enugu. He's learning business, blah, 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 blah. Some will be in Onitsha. You receive a message, your father is dead. He is no more. All the intellectual, all the oral history, you never get to know about them. If I tell you, I don't know who is my grandfather. I haven't seen his picture before. I don't know what he looks like. Sometimes I sit, I think, what does my grandfather look like? And I was told that when he was still alive, I was born, even though I was little. But at least there could have been a picture, a memory of him. But there was none. Do you know why we left home? My father has to go to Onitsha. He was sent away by his own father. I don't know if all this is making sense. Because if my father was not sent away by his own father prematurely, I probably would have known who is my grandfather. Talk less of my great-great-grandfather. I don't know them. I only know my father. I don't even know their picture. I don't know what they look like. That was what they intended for us as a people. So when you were in Lagos, when you were in Onitsha, you were still in your first year apprenticeship, even our boy, the The message you will receive is that your father has passed away. Because these are the people who came from the Civil War history. Most of them are already weak. They have few more years to live. And those were the few more years you were supposed to learn something from them. Something that would help you in life. The reason why some people behave the way they behave today is because they did not learn anything from their father. They did not learn anything from their grandfather. They did not grow in the presence of their father and grandfather. They left home so early to go and scavenge in Lagos, to go and scavenge in Onitsha, to go and scavenge in Iguacha. That was the master plan. That was the 20 pounds phenomena. That was the master plan. That was how they planned it. It was vision 50 to 100 years. Destroy their fabric of existence. Scatter them as a people. They may never come back together again. Talk less of planning another war against the state of Nigeria. They may never come back again to ask questions of their history. By the time they come back, they have forgotten their history or whom they are. And hello, we don't know our history. Most of us, we are only beginning to learn them now. Are you telling me they were not successful? Hell yeah, they were successful in their plan. So that was the first phase. That was the first phase of the plan. Of course, we scattered around the zoo called Nigeria. Somewhere in Kano, somewhere in Jos. And most of us who were in the north at that particular time, whenever there is a riot in the north, who they're going to kill? The Biafrans. Do you think it's by incident? Do you think it's by accident that they killed Biafrans each time there was a riot in the north? No, it was not. They knew that the Biafrans who are in the north are the scavengers that left Biafra land. And they have to kill them up there. They have to eliminate them so that they can bring more. And they kept killing us. Kano riots killed the Biafrans. Jos killed the Biafrans. Wherever it is happening, Plateau State killed the Biafrans. Kill the scavengers. We have chased them away from home, but they are not satisfied because the presence of a Biafran is a threat to an average Nigerian. The presence of a Biafran is a threat to an average Nigerian. They don't want to see you. You can hide under the bed, it's fine. But as long as they are seeing you, they are threatened. The next thing that comes to their mind is eliminate him. He can do something. He can metamorphose. He can even disappear. He can fly. They believe we are superhuman. The zoo called Nigeria believe that Biafrans are superhuman. I don't know if you're getting this. This is a fact. It is a fact. They believe that a Biafran is a superhuman. They can't prove it. If you are here with a Fulani man, he is at guard. He is very careful. He is watchful. He is afraid of you. That is why when the Fulanis come to Biafra land, the Fulani herdsmen, they are slaughtering people. You don't know why when they see you, they don't even waste time. They don't even talk about kidnapping you. They slaughter you right away. Because even an old man in Biafra land is a threat to a young Fulani man. A young Biafran is a threat to a young Fulani man. Even though he is an old man. He believes that this old man has something up his sleeves. He believes that this old Biafran has 9 lives like a cat. I need to act quickly before I fall for this Biafran. That is why the plan was to chase us away from home, make us scavengers all around the zoo called Nigeria. And they succeeded. It happened because all the families, people were being pushed away. It is only few people, that their father was still rich at then that managed to go to school and what have you. But majority were chased away from home. You have no choice. You have to leave home. Remember, after the 20 pounds, the abandoned property also kicked in. the abandoned property also kicked in. Now our fathers are faced with a 20-pound starvation plan and the abandoned property. All this thing was to demoralize a Biafran father. All this thing was to destroy a Biafran father. A father is the head of the family. A father is the Lord of the house. If you destroy him, whoever is under him will be destroyed too. Because our fathers are like our mentors. Our fathers are like our God. That is why most of the people, majority of the people who are poor, if you look back at their history, their father was destroyed. Some, their father turned into drunkard and become drunkards. Some lost everything. They lost hope of living. They were just waiting for death to come. Their children, most of them never made anything in life. Only few. Because your father was your hero. Your father is the person you look up to. If you become a lawyer today, the chances of your son becoming a medical doctor or even a lawyer is 50-50. Even more higher to 70%. Because remember, you are his mentor. He looks up unto you. If you become a truck pusher today, if you don't take care, and if the grace of God does not set in, the chances of your son becoming even worse than a truck pusher is high as well. That is why as a father, you will always try and pray and ask God to help you so that you can be a role model to your children. It is only few parents that are poor that their children end up becoming rich, the hand of God. Otherwise, the Bible said, a slave cannot be greater than his father. A slave cannot be greater than his master. And so, the first role model you have as a child is your father. In your mind, you believe your father can do anything. You believe that your father can do anything. He is everything. It is natural. So that was the plan of the zoo, to destroy the head of the home, to destroy the same person we look up unto, because they know that when they destroy every father in every home, their children will amount to nothing. They will be scattered all around the world. Even the person you are doing apprenticeship sometimes might not even settle you, because who the hell is your father? What is he going to do if I don't settle you anyway? So that was the first phase of the plan of turning every Biafran child into a scavenger. And they succeeded. It worked. Then as time goes on, as the years progress, some of us who were not born during the war, some of us that did not see the war, the whole scavenger exercise continued. You never for one day paused and ask yourself, but why do we always have to leave home at early stage? But why every time the thought of traveling, running away from home, going to oversee this and that? I know some people might blame it on, I want to be rich, Egombute. Yeah, here and there. But remember, Egombute was informed by the same scavenging attitude. Egombute belief was also informed for the fact that your father was given 20 pounds. Now you want to be rich because you know you came from a poor family. You want to change the life of your family. You want to change the life of your father. You want to say to your father, Daddy, you have tried so much for me and my family. You have tried so much for me and my children. My brothers and sisters. It is time for us to take care of you. That is why people do everything possible to be rich. Majority of the people. Of course, not everybody. So our generation, who were not there when the war started, who were not there when the war finished, we were all born after the war. There are things we are doing. There are things we adopted, which we didn't know where it's coming from, which we don't know what is the origin of what we are doing. When you finish school, now this is the modern way they did it again. Now, in this modern world, what did they do? They changed the whole dynamic of the system of the zoo against Biafrans. They changed everything to work against Biafrans. Look at your education system. What did they do? They make sure that if you are a Biafran, before you can go to the university, your cut-off mark must be high. Your cut-off mark, if you want to be a doctor, you're looking at 300 and something point, or you're looking at 200 and something, if you are a Biafran. But if you are a Fulani from the north, your cut-off mark probably will be 60. Look at it, 60 against 200, 60 against 250. Why did they do it? People don't understand. Why did they do it? Because they want to destroy a Biafran child. They want to make you useless. And when you become useless, the only thing that goes in your head and in your mind is balaga, balaga, balaga. Ebe kam na abache. Na okwane Europe. Kam ga Spain. Na all America na gazi aga. Na this guy gara Germany mbosia. Na so putili 350 cars. That's all you think. It is not because you are mad or you are going crazy. It's because of the system was programmed to destroy you as a Biafran. The system was programmed to make you a scavenger as a Biafran. They want to make you run around, going around the world, scavenging, looking for what to get to become somebody in life. So that was the modern way. After the 20 pounds scenario. Remember, the 20 pounds scenario was a catalyst to what we are going through today. But they changed it, the dynamics changed rapidly from the school and the education system. Most of the Biafran children, they didn't manage to go into the university. Even though you know that, well, after university education, I probably will not get any job. But they make sure you don't even get to university because of the cutoff mark. By the time you take jump for the first time, second time, you are tired. How many times am I going to sit for jump? That is the idea, so that you can be frustrated and quit. And it's working perfectly well. So when a Biafran child finishes secondary school, the first thing that comes to mind is, na papa, moi ale ajoko izo afia obuna, moi chime travel. No, moi chime travel. Nothing wrong with him travel. But what am I trying to say? The reason why you are sounding like that, it was programmed from day one, that one day you are going to sound like that you will lose interest in everything, in that place where you are, that place where you were born. You want to travel. That is all that comes to your mind. Now, the problem is not traveling. The problem is that when you travel, most of us, we have to stay 20 years without going back home. We have to stay 30 years without going back home. We have to stay 15 years without going back home. It's a fact. It's a reality. The son of the family left his father's treasures. When I say treasure, I talk about your father's land. You ran to overseas to go and scavenge and stay there for 20 years. Most of the time, by the time we come back, our father is dead. I left for South Africa. By the time I came back, my father is dead. I did not see my father. He died. He tried everything. He took me to this one. It didn't work. He took me to this master to serve. It didn't work. He took me to go and learn shoemaker. He took me to go and do this and do that. Because what can he do? He has to do the little he can. Because of the way the zoo called Nigeria has destroyed my father. My father has to make sure that I survive one way or the other. Eventually, I managed to enter into a place. Now, I want you to listen now. This is my story. And I'm going to try to be short about it. But it's very, very important that you listen to my story. There's a reason why I use myself as a case study. I've seen it all. I've been around. My goodness me. There's one of my brother who lives in Germany. By then, he hasn't gone to Germany. We were all, back home. So I used to go to a church they call Christ Apostolic Church. And then I learned how to play bass guitar in the church. So it was so hard. It was so difficult at home. No food. I've just finished my, common entrance, finished my, after my elementary 6. And then I went to secondary school, as I've told you before in this program. And then when I went to secondary school, it was class 1. I was told to come back home. I have to go and bring back my locker because there was no money. And my father started then to move me around to this place and that place. At the end of the day, I could not serve anybody because I was born in Onitsha. I was so stubborn. I don't know what is Oga. I don't know what is Oga. So, after learning how to play that bass guitar, what we do is, we start going for gigs. People will call us to come and play in Wakekeeping or wherever. So I go, I play, they pay me, give me like 50 naira or 20 naira or whatever it is that they gave me. I was bringing the money back home to help them to buy food and what have you. So my brother, the one that is now in Germany, that time he was still around. So he also played guitar. So one day he called me and said, listen, there is a man who is looking for somebody who is going to play bass guitar in his band. It was a very big band in Onitsha then. It was called Mount Zion Gospel Band. It was famous because we even traveled around the country. We even went to Cameroon and what have you. So I said, no, I'm interested. Then I went there to this man. And then he employed me and said he would be paying me 400 naira every month for playing bass guitar. So I started playing bass guitar for this man. He's a very rich man. He's a millionaire. He's from Okeja and Ozobolo. He is a very rich man. I'm telling you, he was a millionaire when I was playing. And then one day, the wife of this woman said to me, I don't know, she said to me, is this what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life, playing bass guitar? I felt offended. Why would she talk to me like that? But of course, I was polite. I said, I don't know. I just have to do what I have to do. She said, no, I'm asking you this because my husband, he is an importer. Why don't you talk to him and say to him, can I learn trade from you? Can I do apprenticeship with you? I thought about it, but I wasn't sure if this man is going to agree. I later approached this man with my brother. We begged him and said, "Na bronon boy, can was a boy," and then he took me. He agreed. That is how I started the apprenticeship. I stayed with this man 5 years. Then after 5 years, he settled me the way he could, but it wasn't enough. The next thing that come to my mind, balaga, travel. I never thought of anything but travel. That was the intention of the Fulanis. It was the intention of the British. It was the 20 pounds strategy. It was the 20 pounds. But I wasn't sure why I was so intense in going abroad. I had my brother, his senior brother was in Germany at then. I started calling him. Bikono, achomega obodo ibo brother. Bikono, ihologe, bikono, nyenemaka. Then he asked me, how much do you have? One Jim, but I want to go to obodo ibo. I want to go. I tried. It didn't work. I never gave up. I took the money that I had at that particular time. Somebody told me, for me to go to Europe, I need to go to travel to Yugoslavia. It was in 1997. From Yugoslavia, then they will cross you into Italy. I took my money, I gave them, they gave me a fake visa. I was boarded I went to Burkina Faso. They said, no, you cannot board in Lagos, you must board from Burkina Faso. Then they boarded me in Burkina Faso. We went to Russia. From Russia, we landed in Yugoslavia. Now listen, immediately we landed in Yugoslavia. They took my passport, they looked at it. After all said and done, they had some meeting. They said, we are 3 of us. They say, all of you, 3 of you, come. The same plane, I don't know if you're listening to me. The same plane we came from Russia, it was idling. That plane, they haven't switched off the engine. They put us back in that same plane. And they deported us back to Russia. They deported us back to Russia. When I got to Russia, they said, no, you're going to stay in Russia for 2 weeks because the connecting flight to Burkina Faso, they say you have to choose to go back to the zoo or go back to Burkina Faso. I stayed in Russia airport. And they said to me, you have an option to go to hotel or stay in the whatever. I said, no, I want to stay in the airport because in my mind, I stayed in the Russia airport for 2 weeks. I was freezing. After 2 weeks, the Aeroflot that is going to, they asked me, where do you want us to take you? Nigeria or Burkina Faso? I said, yes, I came from that part of the zoo, but take me to Burkina Faso because I'm not sure what's going to happen to me if you take me back to the zoo. And trust me, I've seen myself as a failure. And I don't want my family to know that I've been deported. So they take me and bundle me back to Burkina Faso. When I got to Burkina Faso, I was so confused. I don't know what to do. I say, what am I going to do? The life of a scavenger. I was not thinking home and I was not ready to go back home. I still need to travel. I want to scavenge. I want to be rich. Then from Burkina Faso, there was a guy I met in Russia. He stays in Ivory Coast. He told me, I will make sure you go to South Africa. I know everything about South Africa. I will help you. As a matter of fact, this guy wanted to dupe me. But I went to, from Burkina Faso, I traveled to Ivory Coast to this guy. When I got to Ivory Coast, I heard another story. That there is a ship that comes to Liberia. That ship comes to pick people from Liberia to America. That was during the war in Liberia. You know, when Samuel Doe was killed and what have you, Charles Taylor. It was war, and I don't know nothing. A village boy like me, I don't know war. I don't know. Because I heard on the street that ship is coming to Liberia to pick people. I told that guy, I want to go to Liberia. They laugh. They said to me, Liberia is boiling. They're fighting. I said, no, I want to go to Liberia. That is even the more reason why I should go to Liberia, because they're fighting. They're going to bring a ship and take me and go to America. I embarked on a suicide mission. I didn't know that I want to go and get myself killed. There was war going on in Liberia. You know about Liberia war. The day I landed in Liberia, they say I must go to the harbor. That's where the ship land. When I got to the harbor, I saw a table in the harbor. There was blood on that table and blood on the floor. I don't understand what was going on. It was so quiet. There was nobody. Then the next thing I saw small boys walking around with AK-47. Hi, I did not see like normal human beings that is walking that I would ask questions. I only saw, everybody I saw had a gun. There is war. I don't know, but somehow they didn't look at me. They didn't come to me. I don't know what happened. But there was, and I'm looking at the buildings in Liberia. There was all holes in the building. Every building has a hole. I'm like, it was a hole of Shelly armored machine gun, you know. Everywhere was like deserted. It was a ghost town in Liberia. That day I arrived was the day Samuel Doe was killed and his head cut off. The blood I was seeing there was fresh. It was the blood of Samuel Doe. So luckily, I saw one man. I was already starting to shiver. I said to him, please, what is happening here? You know, there's a way they talk in Liberia, this English they speak, I don't understand it very well. But I managed to listen. He said to me that the blood I'm seeing, that Samuel Doe was killed today in this album. My brother, I was so caught up, I don't know how to go home. Because I want to travel overseas. I want to go and scavenge. Because Fulani gave my father 20 pounds. Because they seized our property and call it abandoned property. Because it was a vision 50-50, a vision of 100 years. They know that when Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha will be born, the same frustration that engulfed his fathers will engulf him. He will be destroyed. He will want to run away from home. He wouldn't want to stay at home. In his mind, home is messed up. I need to go overseas and make my millions. It wasn't a bad idea. It wasn't a bad thinking to go and make millions. But you don't know why you were thinking like that. You don't know why you never believe anymore that there is money in Biafra land. It is because of the master plan. the 20 pounds of starvation. Master plan of Fulani and Britain. So I managed to get a place to sleep that night in Liberia. God was so merciful to me. Nobody touched me. All the people I see had guns. I can't even talk to them. I was shaking. But no, unfortunately, nobody talked to me. They were ignoring me. I don't know. I thought they would have approached me, apprehend me, and ask me, what are you doing here? You are an informer or whatever. But they just ignored me. I'm like, well, God is at work. So the following morning, I left Liberia. I said to myself, where do I go? Except home. I don't want to go back home. Where else will I go? I don't want my parents to see me, because if they see me again, then of course I have become the failure. I continue scavenging because I am a scavenger. A proudly scavenger, courtesy of Britain and Fulani. They destroy the fabric of our existence. They destroy that same thing that binds us as a people. They make the youth to desert their compound. They make the youth to desert their ancestral home to go and scavenge in the land of the unknown. Some never came back. Some will never come back. That was the vision of Britain and Fulani against us. And it's still working today. Even the youth at home want to go. They want to run away. They want to go overseas. It is not bad to go overseas. But why do you want it so desperately? Because there was a plan in place which controls every Biafran child. So I was thinking, where else do I go? I said, okay, fine. Let me go to Ghana. From Liberia, I went to Ghana. I stayed in Ghana for 2 weeks. Remember, I started in Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, Liberia. Now I'm in Ghana. I asked myself, is this the way I'm going to live the rest of my life? Scavenging, running away, all around. So I was in Ghana. One city said to me, call home. Call home, tell them your situation. Call home, tell them your situation. I decided I called somebody. I explained, I told them, they said, okay, fine. Come to Lagos. We're going to send you help. We're going to send you some money so that you can continue to scavenge. The person never advised me to come home. He said, no, I'm going to send you money so that you will look for where else to go. I am telling you the story of my life, how I scavenge, and today I'm still scavenging. And I don't know for how long, except Biafra is restored. Because Biafra is the only hope. Biafra is the only thing that will put an end to this scavenging. Biafra is the only thing that will make me feel like human beings again. What is scavenging? Animals scavenge. Human beings scavenge too. When you bring out your bin, for those guys who collect bins to come and take, before they come, there are those boys who come and open your dustbin and begin to scavenge, looking for valuables in your dustbin. Is that not what we are doing overseas, some of us? The time you go and start picking clothes on the street, you are scavenging. I've gone to Germany before, and then people were throwing away television on the road. I have to go and begin to pull out those television from their, dustbin, their garbage, because the TV is still working. What was I doing? Scavenging. So when you tell me, Mazi Ikechukwu, what are you talking about? Why are you calling us scavengers? That is what we do. When you have left home to go to a land that does not belong to you, and you have no good job that you can call a good job, what you do is a menial job, you are a scavenger. It's more like a prodigal son who went to a land far, far away, and he was sleeping with the pigs, and one day he said to himself, I need to rise and go back home to my father. Because if I were in my father's house, I should not be sleeping or eating the food of pigs. But we are here, not by choice. We are here not by choice. And I dare not blame any Biafran child. I dare not blame any Biafran for being where he is today, scavenging, because it is not your fault. It was a master plan that was marshaled out to destroy our generation, to destroy our people, to destroy the fabrics of our existence. And they succeeded. Inasmuch as we might say, well, it worked out fine for us at the end of the day, it is because Elohim will not allow us as a people to be destroyed. He knows the plan he has for us. He said, I know the plan I have for you, Biafrans. Elohim knows that we are people who are called by his name. Inasmuch as our enemies has meant it for evil for us as a people, God, Chukwu Okike, he has turned it for joy for us. But I'm not proud to be a scavenger in a foreign land. I want to go back home. I want to go back to the land of my ancestors. I want to go back to the land where my bones will be laid down when I have left this world. So from Lagos, I went to Swaziland. Stay scavenging. From Swaziland, I have to travel from Swaziland through road to South Africa, where I am today. When I arrived South Africa, of course, it was not my plan. It was not where I want to be. But what can I do? I have to stay back there and scavenge. And it has taken me almost 20 years of my life scavenging in this country. And I know that you that is listening to me today, Biafras, wherever you are hearing the sound of my voice this evening, you are not happy where you are because it was not your dream. It was not your childhood dream. You wanted to be a doctor. You wanted to be many things in life because you believe that Elohim has endowed you with knowledge. But because of situation, but because of the master plan of our enemies, you have no choice. You have to scavenge. We are scavengers. We are scavenging all around the world. We have left our father's compound. We have left our throne as the firstborn of the family. We have left the side of our fathers where we learn oral history, where we learn what happened in the past. And today, nobody will teach us that because our father is dead. Our mothers are dead. We are all alone. We are orphans and still scavenging around the world. Now, do you understand why we should not lose this opportunity? Do you understand why we should not lose this opportunity? Because if we lose this opportunity, not only that we will be scavenging, but our children, their children will be the worst scavengers all around the world. Let's take this opportunity that God has given to us through his servant Mazi Ikechukwu. Let's grab it with both hands. Not just for our sake alone, but for the sake of our children and children to come. Let's grab it with both hands and restore the kingdom of God on this planet Earth. Let us guard this struggle with all jealousy, with everything that is in us. We will not allow anybody to destroy what we have achieved, the gain that we have made all these years. Biafra is a must. The guest I had here on the force said that when the youth have decided to struggle, when they have decided that they want something, they will not stop until they have it. It's either Biafra or death. And that is just the way it will be. They destroyed the fabric of our existence. They made us scavengers throughout the whole world because they know that we will be there forever. And that is why today Fulani still have power and they will have it for all eternity, for all we care. Because what we want is Biafra. We are not interested in their zoological republic presidency. We are not interested in their political life or whatever it is that they are doing in the zoo. All we need is Biafra. And Mazi Ikechukwu must be released unconditionally. I will take a quick break and see if I can take a call, one or two, even though our time has passed. But I'm glad I have left the message. I have preached that which Elohim wants me to preach. Every day you sleep, think about it. You are a scavenger. Then decide how long do you want to be a scavenger. It's all in your hand. It can end now. It can end today if we put more effort this year, 2022, and say that it's either Biafra or nothing. If we push more than we have pushed all these years and say this is the year of Biafra. This is the year of the restoration of the kingdom of God on this planet Earth. I will take a quick break. And when I return, I will see if I can take even one or two more calls before we bring this program to an end. Like my leader Mazi can always say, and I believe Elohim have given me the message for Biafra this evening, and that is what I've decimated. And I believe that we must restore Biafra in our own time. We must. It is a must, because we have crossed the Rubicon. We have crossed a point of no return. Going back is not even an option at all. It's either we get Biafra or we die trying. I will be back after this.
Like you black man, freedom time. When I sing that this song that for me story, for me heroes day. From freedom. Papa we ranya gile, juwo kije kabya mabya kwagere. Adire bola no me, amra chanye lo wabya kwagere. Lele na wuga mola no wa. Ba chole bolo no go wa. Ojomo amo, adire bola no me, amra chanye lo wabya kwagere. Wo Jano, I say Jano. Supreme leader, your children, I say, yeah. Ya remember when I sing in a song, them I say, what type of freedom? I say, you remember when me hold that in a me body like Rastaman, I got injury time. I say, heaven come down, your glory come fill up my soul, because when at my cross, my Savior, come make me whole,
Almighty Thou, as I'm living at the place, as I'm keeping at this place, praise of my life, oh. As I'm living at the place, as I'm keeping at this place, giant creation. As I'm living at the place, as I'm keeping at this place, save my life. As I'm living at the place, as I'm keeping at this place.
Your children, your children, your children, I say, he has done it again. Respect to the great lion. How we say, I'm the lion for freedom. Yeah, for the heroes day. We can't forget. Respect. Onibe. Oh, I. Papa, we ranya gile. Chukwu kike kabya mabya kwagere o. Wo arire bola no me. Amra chanye lo wabya kwalele. Lele na wuga mola no wa. Badala boro no go wa o. Odumo wa. Arire bola no me. Amra chanye lo wabya kwagere. Ai on the chada kwagere. Kekero wabya kwagere. Amada hoso so arire bola no me. Kamalo amra chanye lo wabya kwagere. I say, just shackling all the bad things, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near.
All right, welcome back. Let's do this. Maybe we can do it quickly. I don't know how it's going to be, but let's see if we can take one call or two. That will be fine. So call me on +27740 678 That is my WhatsApp line. And of course, it is on now. Call me on the WhatsApp line, or you can call me on Skype. Of course, you know the Skype ID, Radio Biafra SADC. That is the Skype. It is +27740 678 +27740 I know the time is against us. Of course, our time is almost over. But if I can take one call or two call, I will be happy. If we can make it like snappy, 2 minutes each, then we might be able to take one or two calls. My goodness me. You know, whenever I give my lectures, I don't normally take calls because I know it is consuming. It is time consuming to give the lecture due to the time factor. But I want to see if I can get one call or two. Otherwise, we will bring this program to an end because our time is virtually over, I must tell you, it's plus 27 740 678 412. Plus 27 740 678 412. That is the WhatsApp line. Or if you want to call on Skype, then you can go ahead and do that. My goodness me, we must preach this gospel. We must preach it in its own entirety, because we are whiter than white. We are whiter than snow. The truth must be preached at all time. Let us see if we have a lucky person here who will take his call. I don't know. Caller on the line, can you hear me? Caller on the line. Caller on the line, can you hear me? All right, I don't think he can. I don't think he can. Unfortunately not, he cannot. All right, as we are winding down the time, I will still see if I can take a call. Network is also a factor you must understand. Very, very important. It is Radio Biafra and of course Elohim. All right, my goodness me, I don't know if Adazion wants to come on air. Let me get her call. Adazion, please hold on for me, my dear. Let's see. Can you hear me, my dear? Can you hear me, Adazion?
Sorry, are you online?
Adazion, go ahead. The whole world is listening, please. All right, the call is cut. I don't know whether it's a personal call. Maybe, I don't know if she called me personally, but of course, when I'm on air, if you call me, whether it's personal call, I'm going to pick it up, and of course, I will put you live on air. Unfortunately. So Ada, if it was not a mistake, you can call again. Of course, I am live, I am on air, and then if you call me when I'm live on air, trust me, you will join me in the program. By force. All right, let's try this one again. I don't know. All right, call on the line. Can you hear me? Call on WhatsApp. Call on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp. My goodness me. Unfortunately, it was not to be. The calls are not holding. The calls are not holding, and considering that I don't have, time left, what are we going to do? I think the most important thing that we have preached the gospel. We have preached it without any reservation, and the whole world will bear us witness that we came, we passed through this place, that we preached the gospel, and humanity is bearing us witness. My goodness me. I am not seeing any call. I am not seeing any call. It's just ringing. I don't know why I am not seeing it. Unfortunately, not. We must continue. We must continue. We must continue. All right. Let me see. Let me see. All right. We must continue. All right, we have preached the gospel according to the restoration effort of the kingdom of God on this planet. This is what we have decided to do. This is what we have vowed. We have taken an oath to do, that we are going to preach this gospel. We are going to preach this gospel without any reservation. We are under oath. We have sworn that we are going to preach this gospel, that we are going to ensure that Biafra is restored in our own time. We will not capitulate. We will not slumber. I will never for one day say I am done with this struggle. It is highly impossible, because nobody called me. Nobody called me, I must tell you. Nobody called me. Chukwu Kikabiama, he called me and said, I want you to be part of this great thing. I want you to be part of this great tsunami that is about to sweep across our land. And I say, here I am, Elohim, and I'm here today. And all I ask from him is to keep me right, to keep me on the path. All right, caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp. Unbelievable. All right, it was not to be today. I'm sorry. It was not to be today. Today was not actually for calls. Of course, it was only for taking, preaching and giving us the word of life. But people are calling, but then I don't know what is going on, unfortunately. Do I have a caller on WhatsApp?
You have a caller, Professor Onuoha. Good evening.
My goodness me, how are you, my fellow scavenger? Good evening from here.
I'm all How are you?
Mazi, you have only 2 minutes, please. You have only 2 minutes because of time. Go ahead.
You're speaking to your brother Uzemwido, the scavenger. I'm calling from Afridisu. Afridisu is South Africa.
Yes, I know.
Mazi, thank you for what you did to us this evening, what you teach us this evening. I don't know how I will thank you, but what I want to tell you is that you mustn't that is, don't mind the agent of provocateurs, like our brother Mazi Chinasangoro used to say. There are some agents of provocateurs. They wanted you to come home. They don't know that what we are doing is more than what 1 million people can do. Thank you for what you are doing for us.
All right.
Because if not what you are doing for us, all the Biafrans, you must know that you are scavenger. Know the worst thing is that even as a scavenger, even if you scavenge and reach home, you're not going to stay at your home. Some of us have got a home, but now it's lizard living. Lizard, cockroach, and the ant is living in the house that we built.
Thank you very much, Mazi.
Even if we go home, it's like fire.
Your time is up.
Like fire.
Thank you very much.
Mazi, thank you. Thank you. But we don't need any other thing. I don't need heaven. I don't want to go to heaven. Only Biafra is what I need.
Thank you very much.
Don't give me heaven. I don't want to go to heaven. Only Biafra. Biafra is our destination. Thank you for taking my call. Thank you,
Thank you, my brother. He is my fellow scavenger, and of course, you know what it is. Caller on the line, can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp. There is a caller on WhatsApp. Are you still there? All right. I don't know if that caller can hear me. Let's try this one. Caller on WhatsApp, are you there? Can you hear me? Do I have a caller on WhatsApp? Unbelievable. I have no idea. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Yes, Mazi, good evening.
Good evening from here, Mazi. Please, your names and where you're calling, and go straight to it.
My name is Mazi Samuel. And Mazi Samuel calling from.
Mazi, speak up. We cannot hear you. Can you speak up, please? We can barely hear you.
Okay, I said my name is Mazi Samuel Ikechukwu. And I'm calling you from.
Go ahead, Mazi. Go ahead.
Okay. I must say you have really done well to the topic of today. And it's something to reflect on for everybody who listens to this very topic. You know, most of us do not understand what we are doing is all about. And it is a kind of thing that if anyone is moved by the spirit, like our leader will always say, he will understand the importance of what IPOB is doing in the world today. As it is, people don't know what we are fighting for stands for us, for those who really know. I do tell people that it means life itself. There is nothing you can offer to anybody more than freedom. Because I have experienced some lives which I have taken decisions that at this point, there is nothing an Igbo man is living for in Nigeria. I heard you talk about your brother sending you a message from the village that people of Olo is running out of town because of fear of being killed. It's quite unfortunate that our people have refused to take responsibility of what they are supposed to work on. What we have is, when it's time for people to do evil, you see them ganging up to do evil. But when it's time for them to do what is needed in the land, they find flimsy excuses in order to justify their failure and some kind of things. But I want to encourage our people on ground there. As you said, you rightly said that the people who are coming to kill are only few in numbers. It only takes a decision and a determination to defend that very land. And if every one of us run because of we are scared, then that means tomorrow we won't have anywhere to call home. I know I am from Imo State. I can feel the pain of what everybody is going through there. How can one man wake up one day and answer a governor? The people of Olo is calling on police security agency to come and help them, calling on Hope Uzodinma to come and help them. Who is their enemy? Who is their enemy? That is the question every one of them need to ask themselves. And then, if we find out that since Hope Uzodinma have entered office as a governor, Imo State has been messed up. He comes out publicly and proclaims the evil he does daily, and people watch him go scot-free because of whatever political powers he has. It's quite unfair. And what I expect from the Olo people is that instead of calling on him or praying which security agency is going to come, the same security agency that has made the land unlivable for people who is there.
All right, Mazi.
I believe that men, women, children, everything living in Olo should come one day and come to that government house of Owerri. Do well there. And if Hope Uzodinma want to kill everybody all from Olo, let him start from there and let's see what will happen.
Thank you very much, Mazi.
Instead of sitting somewhere and calling on him because we know he is the problem. And that means we have to pursue the problem where it started.
Mazi, let's leave it there. Thank you very much because of time.
Okay, I thank you so much for enlightening ourselves, our souls, and I must say God will surely bless you
and bless you
all
too.
Who is fighting to restore the land.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much, and of course, we welcome that. We must continue. Our lines are going crazy. I must tell you, I never anticipated such a high volume of calls. Before I take the next caller, now some of us don't understand there is something they call indigenization decree. It's part of the plan. It was part of the plan. When they gave us 20 pounds, when they gave our fathers 20 pounds, there was a decree that was passed on in 1972. It was called Indigenization Decree. Now, that decree was promulgated in Nigeria enterprises. The reason why they did that, it was for people to buy shares after the war. Now they have to take away the money from an average Biafrans so that we cannot be able to buy shares. When the people were buying shares, that is why most of the people, both those in Lagos, both other ethnicity in the zoo called Nigeria, were able to own companies today. We're able to own so many shares because when they were buying those shares, Biafrans were handicapped. They have no cent at home. The promulgation of the Nigeria Enterprises Promotion Decree of 1972, it was also known as Indigenization Decree, was not done with the accommodation of Biafrans' interests. The government enacted this policy when the people of Biafra were at their weakest economic point. Just after the Civil War, just after they have emerged from the Civil War. My goodness me. The implication of this was that the other ethnic groups in the zoo called Nigeria were participating. They were purchasing shares in all the blue chip companies, at the exception of Biafrans. It was part of the plans. All right, caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good evening from here, Mazi. Your name, please, and where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Ikechukwu Onuoha. Yeah, brother. I'm calling from Aba Province.
One Chineke. Please go ahead.
Ikechukwu Onuoha.
Before Gigani, hold on one day. Just hold on. I don't know if you were listening. What is this thing that I'm hearing that all of people are running away from?
I'm listening.
Are you listening? Can you hear me?
It's not talking, but I'm listening from the app.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha. Yes, let it be notified to the whole world. Every establishment here in Nigeria is fake. Everything. From that time, they fought the war in 1976. Every establishment here in Nigeria, everything, both the governors, everything here is fake. No way, anything where we will be Biafra like we do, we can never succeed in Nigeria. It's only Biafra. Only Biafra. See, we have no other thing. Option. Only Biafra. If they say it is by violence, by that kind, we know they shake. After all, Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha, have you not? I would think you call short story. If I begin to tell you my own story, you will shed tears.
We are all scavengers. We are all scavengers, my brother.
Biafrans. See, let me just drop this message. One message here. Now, when just enter. You see Matthew chapter 20. Biafrans. Matthew chapter 20. Everything Jesus Christ did in his own time. Then they has completed above. Only they want to kill them. But you see that any scratch on the body of our leader, that is the end of every human being on this planet. Nobody will live. It is not that Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha, if they kill them, they don't kill you now.
That's what will happen.
If they kill them, they don't kill them.
I want to hear again, my brother. Thank you very much.
I need to kill our under there. And then this governor stay here. That cannot even build one road for us. That has allowed us to become scavengers all over the world. And they are here feeding large with their family. Sending their families abroad. Only one road they can't even give. Only electricity. Then the chicken, they say, okay, you can have that in the listening. We are not the shake. It is this call. We know other thing except Biafra. Except Biafra will not come. Every human being will vacate from this earth. Who get this earth? Not be to go to Biafra. Now our God. Dara.
Thank you very much.
One Ikechukwu Onuoha. Chishupike. They say fire don't the bomb follow. No problem. See, every Biafran.
Thank you very much, my brother.
So that you can defend yourself. We are not jacking. We must get that. We must get that.
Let's leave it there. Thank you very much. There. We must continue. Now, I told you about the 3 R's that were promised to us. Fake promise from Gowon and the British. The first was rehabilitation. They said they're going to rehabilitate Biafra land. After the Civil War, General Gowon promised to rehabilitate and reintegrate the defunct Eastern region, which its infrastructures were devastated during the Civil War, back to the country on equal footing. Hence the slogan, no victor, no vanquish. That's what Gowon told us. In that spirit of oneness, Gowon's military government decreed the policy of reconciliation and reconstruction and rehabilitation. The 3 R's for the defeated Eastern region, so they put it. The policies were merely cosmetic since they were never actually carried out. Why such policies as the abandoned property policies was pursued? They left the 3 R's and pursued the abandoned property principles to demoralize a Biafran father. They gave him 20 pounds instead. Is that the rehabilitation? Is that the reconstruction? It was only meant to make us scavengers. Let us go back to the lines. I have a caller on WhatsApp. I think I have lost this caller on WhatsApp. I don't know what happened. Caller, you are welcome to call me back. This is Radio Biafra. We are live. We are direct. Humanity will bear us witness that there was a generation of our type that came. We came, we saw, and we must conquer. and we will win. We will restore Biafra so that when they talk about us, they will say they came and there were none like them ever since they left. My goodness me. I want my graveside and your graveside to be a place in Biafra land when Biafra must have been restored. The Prime Minister of the day, during our independence celebration, he will go to our graveside and put, rose and everything and say, these are the men that have fought. These are the men that has given us the freedom that we know today to be Biafra. Don't you want that? That is my dream. I don't want to die a wimp. I want to die and I want to be remembered as somebody who have fought. I don't want to be remembered as a saboteur. I don't want to be remembered as somebody who has sold his people. I don't want to be remembered as somebody who has compromised the freedom of his children. I don't want my kids to spat on my grave. I don't want people to urinate on my grave. Rather, I want my grave to be a tourist attraction. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please go ahead and tell me.
Hello.
Yes, my brother, please go ahead.
Aha m bụ Mazi Ikechukwu David Ikechukwu.
Thank you very much.
United Arab Emirates abụọ Fujera Zone.
Please go ahead.
Ụmụ agụregwu nke ikpeazụ mkpọ gị mụ agụregwu nchọ ka ngụkwara onye ndu anyị egwu ya.
By all means, go ahead, please.
Atụla egwu gị ka nọnyere ebela akwa gburugburu n'ụlọ n'ihi na mụ onwe m bụ Chineke gị o m ga-agbago ume m ga-enyere gị aka m ga-eji aka nri nke ezi omume ma jide gị m ga-enyere gị aka. Daalụ Maazị Scavengers ibe m.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my fellow scavenger. We will keep scavenging and we must succeed. We will scavenge and we will scavenge until we see the gold, and we will mine the gold, and we will go back to the land of our ancestors. We will go back to the land where our bone will rest in perfect peace, and that will only be when the kingdom of God is restored on this planet earth. It is a promise that Elohim has promised to us, and we shall not die until we see Biafra. If we have to die, we will die a noble man. We will die warriors. We will die heroes. And we will die no cowards. My goodness me. Unbelievable. Do I have another caller on WhatsApp?
Yes, Maz, good evening. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Humanity is bearing us witness. Mazi, please go ahead.
Thank you, my fellow scavenger. Mazi, good evening, sir. I want to appreciate you for your good work.
Thank you very much.
Presenters for the great Biafrans all over the world. Great Biafrans, my name is Ikechukwu Wisdom. I'm calling from my location this evening. I'm here to contribute on what you're saying that we are all scavenging. And that is why I say cause shall be to any man, any woman doing, fighting, betraying, that Biafra will not come. Because we are all scavengers. I'm telling you, man, sometimes it's like yesterday I was in Ghana. Some of our brothers, these people I'm telling you, there are two boys. Just the two boys passed. Okay, they were saying, I don't know whether it's the DNA or whatever they call it. So those guys passed. They came to shop and say that if I will buy a supplement, I say no. And now discuss because I've read all those things before. And so on the line of discussion, I found that these are brothers. They're from one is from Rivers. In fact, both of them are from Rivers State. I'm taking highest 8 years, small boys. So I was asking these boys, what are you people doing here in Ghana? They said that they came because they want to say this. I'm telling you, they will suffer before even anybody they meet, they refuse to buy them those supplements. But I'm saying this to those people in Rivers State. You know, what that marvels me is that I was discussing with these people, the children. I said, this that your Biafra, they say that they know that Biafra. I asked, okay, why is that? Like, they say that some, what is it called? Somewhere in Obibo, near Obibo, they are speaking Igbo. But they feel that they're not Igbo. As soon as somebody speaks Igbo, I feel that it's not an Igbo man. They speak Igbo. So, what I'm saying, we are scavenging all over the world. Our people, our women, that one, we will not talk about our women. You will talk about women. So, what am I saying? Anybody that is fighting against Biafra restoration, so shall be unto him and generation. And this is going to come. If your father is a musician in Nigeria, they are trying, your Biafra will not come and we will sorry for you. Because what you're eating is a curse, and curse shall be upon you. So we are scavenging for the only hope that we have is Biafra restoration. I don't want to take the story because when I continue narrating the story, I will not finish. But at the end, this boy told me that they are not Nigerians, that they are. So we will continue fighting no matter what to be restored in our time. First, thank you for up here so that I can make a contribution, can call and make a contribution. But Biafra, bear it matter anywhere you are in the world, no matter your profile, you scavenge until we go to our land. Thank you, Mazi, for speaking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mazi, for that. And of course, we welcome that. Woe will be unto him. Curse will be unto that man, that woman, who, for their sake, Biafra restoration will take longer. Because it doesn't matter whatever you do. Biafra must come. The only thing that you might delay us, but coming, it is guaranteed. But curse will be upon you. Even your own children, when they think of you, when they remember you, they will wish they were never from your loins. Oba Biaseka, Ifa Juna today, where are their children? Nowhere to be found, no traces. And that is why you don't play. You don't play with something like Biafra, because Biafra is a spirit. I am reading out the sins, the atrocity of Britain and Nigeria against Biafran father. Atrocity and the sins of Great Britain and Nigeria against the Biafran father. I've told you about the 20 pounds flat fee refund. Several policies decreed into law became albatrosses of the Biafran nation's progress. They did it to set us backwards. They did it that we may disseminate and go all around the world and become scavengers. Even though they say they have reintegrated Biafrans into the society, they continued. We continue to face economic discrimination. The 20 pounds flat rate policy for any amount any Biafran father, mother, whoever might have in their account was one of that. Until after giving them the 20 pounds, they came up with the indigenization decree of 1972. They now want to sell shares to everybody so that they can now recuperate from the war, from the losses of the war, knowing fully well that Biafran father cannot afford to buy the shares. They have taken away his money. They have given him only 20 pounds. Now they want only other ethnicity to get the shares under the indigenization decree in 1972. Biafran fathers never got this opportunity. Most of us don't even know about it. It is part of our history. This is Radio Biafra. It's a university. It's where we teach the history. Our fathers were deprived of the opportunity to buy shares after the Civil War in the indigenization decree policy of 1972 because they had only 20 pounds. They could not use it to do anything. They couldn't even train their children, talk less of buying shares. Other ethnicity, they benefited, and today they are way, way ahead in terms of economic power. Yes, we are blessed. Our people have money, but it is by their sweat and their blood, and nothing to compare with what an average person in that zoo have? Because when you talk about the other tribes, some of them have oil wells, some of them have buildings, they have companies in their name. All these companies were gotten during the indigenization decree of 1972. My goodness me. All right, let me see. I think I've got a caller. A caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mwachineke.
Good evening from here, my brother. Please go ahead. The whole world is listening.
I noticed that anytime I sing that favorite song of Alinda, the network will cut me off.
Okay, I thought you were done. Sorry, my brother. Please go ahead. Go ahead. go ahead, please.
Okay. For this year, my New Year resolution is to always be online listening to all Biafran broadcasts.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
There's a message I want to pass to Ikenga.
Hold on, Mazi.
You know, yesterday...
Mazi, hold on.
Okay.
You don't pass message on air for somebody, okay? I will suggest, if you have my details, send the message to me and it will reach him. Let's do it that way. I think it's better. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Well, but it's not something official, secret that way. Yeah, it's based on his broadcast, because I believe he will be listening.
But how do you know? How do you know he's listening? I don't allow people to give message on my platform, on my broadcast to another person. Please.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem. I understand.
All right.
So all I have to say is that Undisike new name.
Ndewo.
Ezechukwu Onuoha Gana bu nume.
Ndewo. Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. We must continue. All right. My goodness me. What didn't they try against a Biafran father? They manipulated the population census. It was part of the plan. There were several instances of the Nigerian census exercises found to be less than desirable. The need to maintain a very high population figure advantage by certain regions over the others was intense. It was perfected by the British. As a matter of fact, it was their counseling, it was their idea, it was their suggestion, it was right before their own very eyes. The census was manipulated. Notwithstanding anything, the 1973 population census, incredibly manipulated. That was after the Civil War. And all those things was meant to marginalize us as a people, to make us scavengers. The census exercise confirmed that Nigerian population grew by 44% in 10 years, while northern Nigeria's population jumped to 64% compared to 53.7% in 1963. How possible is that? The bloated population advantage has consequences for the creation of states. That's why they did it. Local governments and the sharing of accrued revenues at the center, since in practice Nigeria runs a unitary system as against the federal system on paper. And you talk about the federal character principle. Federal character principle is enshrined in the 1999 Constitution, but its first introduction was in 1979 Constitution, Section 14, subsection 3, and Section 4 of the 1999 useless Constitution of the Zoo. It provides for the equitable distribution of positions in the military, paramilitary, police, all the security institutions, public services, parastatals, and publicly owned companies. The plain accommodation of the principle as it ought to be applied has not always worked according to the dictates of the Constitution. Primarily, When it comes to placing Biafran people in certain positions, they make sure they swap it the other way around. Federal character principle disappears because now they're dealing with a Biafran. But when it has to be a Fulani or other ethnicity, then they will shout federal character, federal character. Where was the federal character in the current Buhari administration? Out of the window. President Buhari administration has been the worst offender, that he had been called out for his insensitivity to other ethnicity, especially Biafran people. Of course, Senator Baribe has said it many times. My goodness me. Baribe said the incumbent Nigeria president, General Buhari, has willfully ensured that the Southeast Zone was not included in the National Defense Council and the National Security Council. Can you believe that? We must continue. We must continue. Where do I start? Where do I stop? The sins of Nigeria and Britain against my people. The master plan of making us scavengers around the world. The master plan of ensuring the Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha stays in South Africa for as long as it takes, so that we don't come back home and fight with them over what belongs to us. Then you talk about creation of states and local government areas. The creation of state and local government areas were deliberately made to favor northern Nigeria. The Southeast Zone is the only political zone among the 6 political zones that has only 5 states, while the rest of the other zones have 6 states each. My goodness me. And this has made the Southeast to be the least of the states of the area that have least amount of revenue allocation. So that when they are going to allocate the money, they will say, but why must we give you more money? How many are you people? How many states do you have anyway? The North, they have a lot of states and they must get more, budget allocation. That is the whole idea of the less states. It was an injustice against my people, clearly formulated to disadvantage my people. And I want you to understand why we cry that we have had enough. Why we cry and say we want Biafra. Why we cry and say, allow us to go. And if we don't, we won't go anywhere, because it is our human fundamental right to go as a people. It is our right as a shrine under the law, internationally and locally. United Nations right of the indigenous people to self-determination as enshrined in section 1 of the charter. And we don't need any apology for us to be free as a people. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mazi.
Yes, please, Mazi, go ahead.
Mazi, good evening.
Good evening from here.
Hi, my name is Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha. Mazi, we are talking of 5 states. Kaduna State alone is bigger than the whole 5 states in Southeast. or your state alone is bigger than the whole Southeast. Niger State, only Niger State is bigger than the whole Southeast and so-called South. You are talking about the marginalization. Mazi, you're a learned man, I know. Have you had South before?
Never. There is no such
South exists only in Nigeria, just to divide the Igbo. Nowhere. When you enter into conversation, with some group or a prominent people, when you mention South, they will see you as somebody who don't. Everybody will just stand up. You understand? They will say, they will ask you, what do you say? You say South. You know, they will look at each other as this man is ignorant. Nowhere in this world, South exists. It's only in the zoo. Okay. Just tell me why didn't them have South in the North in the North, or West?
Mazi, are you aware that in 1991 they have to divide Kano State into two and bring out Jigawa State? So out of one state, they manufactured it to be two. And all these things were geared up in disadvantaging our people. That is the whole idea. So that they can get more revenue and our people will get lesser revenue and they will not develop. When you talk about airports, they will say to you, but you guys cannot have an international airport because you are just few.
Mazi, ask yourself, in fact, let us ask ourselves, is Nigeria divided along ethnic group? No. So tell me why Kaduna State should be bigger than, larger than the other 5 states. Niger State is larger than Southeast and South. Oyo State alone is bigger than Southeast. Just anybody will have sense of reasoning. Sit down, ask yourself this question, you will get the answer. The answer is just to tell you piece by piece for them to easy for them to conquer you and colonize you.
Thank you very much, Mazi.
You understand?
Yes, thank you very much. Let's leave it there. Thank you very much, my brother. All right, thank you for that. Of course, we must continue as we begin to expose the evil that they have preferred against my people. And now when you talk about the seaport in the zoo, I don't know if, we actually know that Iguacha Seaport was one of the largest seaports in the zoo before the Civil War. As a matter of fact, it was so bustling. It's a very busy seaport during the Nigerian independence. I'm talking about Iguacha Seaport. Then after the Biafran Civil War, they destroyed Iguacha Seaport. They make it useless. They make it inconsequential. Because the whole thing was geared towards destroying my people. Because when things are not, can you imagine if Iguacha Seaport is still the bustling and second best, seaport in the whole zoo called Nigeria? Do you think that unemployment will be, thriving in that part of the world? Of course, people will go to Iguacha and begin to get something to do. Have you been to Tinkan Wharf? Have you been to Apapa Wharf? People are even outside the wharf and they're getting job. Before they leave there in the evening, they will be going with substantial amount of money to take care of their family. That is job creation. In and out the wharf. But they destroyed Iguacha Seaport because they want to turn my people into scavengers. They want us to run away from home and never come back. All right, Mazi, turn down your radio or walk away from it, please. Good evening from here.
Mazi, I have done it, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, do you see during Obasanjo regime, when Tinka Apapa were filled, do you know they park vehicle to One Wharf? By then, they start selling vehicles very cheap in Port Harcourt, in Iguacha. Then when they see that our people are much interested, they stop selling, they stop the ship not to come. And Iguacha is
Are you still there, Mazi?
Yes, Iguacha is close to Atlantic Ocean than Lagos. Do you know since April last year, somebody put container from here in Malaysia back to Port Harcourt, Iguacha? Do you know that those containers are still in the wharf, near wharf till today? But those that go through Lagos has cleared their own. For how many months now? Turn up their trips many times. But the one are still in One, hanging in One, without no reason, without no genuine reason. This is spare parts. It's not contraband. It's not contraband, but they kept it there because of the initial. And they know those that are trading on those things. They keep it there. And nobody is talking. Nobody is talking. Do you know of our use it and give Dangote? Dangote are the bagging cement in all the work in Biafra land.
Yes, go ahead, Mazi.
You go to all of them, you will see what they are doing. Dangote is bagging cement today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. We are talking scavengers this evening. That was the whole master plan. Destroy my people. Destroy Biafran father, the mentor, the example, the person we look up unto. Take away everything from him. Make him inconsequential and let the whole family, especially the male part of the family, disappear and never come back again, so that we can muscle them politically and economically. It doesn't matter how much we have in Biafra land. It still don't make us competitive with them. They have the political power. They can do what they want. They can even come tomorrow and arrest the richest of our men. They can come tomorrow and arrest whoever is the richest man in Biafra land because they have the political power. They know what they are doing. As a matter of fact, they decide if this person in Biafra land should be rich or not. They decide. If you become rich without their knowledge, they will destroy you. They will destroy your investment. They will destroy your money. They will arrest you. They will accuse you wrongly and make you a nobody in no distant time. Scavengers. They destroy the fabrics of our existence. Thank you, Biafrans. We are coming to the end of today at breaking broadcast. My goodness me. It is not me, it is Elohim that talks to his people, and he chooses whom he wants to talk to. It is Radio Biafra. It is a hallowed platform. On this platform is where we worship Elohim, because for goodness sake, Biafra is our religion. We will take a quick break, and when we come back, we will begin to summarize, and we will begin to bring this program to an end. Don't go away, please.
This is modern. This is modern.
Of course, it is motherland. We are live. We are direct. And Elohim. And that is exactly what we are doing. Where do I start? Where do I stop? Should I talk about lack of international airports in my land, the land of my ancestors? Biafrans, people are found virtually every nooks and cranny of the zoo called Nigeria. And virtually in all parts of the world where we are scavenging. The Biafran people are constantly on the move, looking for where to scavenge and make ends meet. We are there both domestically and internationally. Most of the times, we travel to Lagos or Abuja before we could even connect to an international airport in order for us to go out of the country. It was only in 2013 that President Goodluck Jonathan administration completed the facility at Enugu Airport, which is now called Akani Ibiam International Airport, that enabled the first international flight only in 2013. A great nation, a great people. 2013, that's when we had a taste of international airports. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But what can we do? What can we do? Today, Enugu International Airport, whether it's alive or dead, I don't know. I don't know. They keep dangling the carrots. They keep dangling the carrots in our face. Tomorrow it will be only one flight, Ethiopia Airline, coming to Enugu, and it's called International Airport. It will be only one flight, only one airline coming to a whole international airport. Sometimes they will tell the same international flight to pass through Lagos before it arrives to Enugu. People under occupation. People under occupation. They monitor us. They make sure we don't go headway. They make sure we don't do more than they want us to do. Is that freedom? Is that independence in our own land? Now you know. Now you understand why we crave and cry for Biafra. Now you know why we must have Biafra. It is a must. And in closing, of course, there are other impediments, here and there that is directed against Biafran people. Some of the barriers are excessive. You go in Biafra land, there's a lot of police block, there is a lot of police roadblocks, which our leader managed to help us, to talk about it, and then it lessened. But I believe now it is back again. Police checkpoint, police roadblock, everywhere in Biafra land. Will I talk about customs, personnel, harassing Biafran people, Biafran businessmen? They go there at the head bridge and wait for them. Once they bring in their goods back from Lagos to Biafra land, they have to stop them and make sure they extort them of money as much as they can. That is what we are going through in that place. The economic and political marginalization of my people, or Biafran people, is not subtle. It is a calculative effort. It is a deliberate effort designed by the federal government of Nigeria to checkmate every Biafran, both rich and poor, both businessmen and both workers. To make sure it is like a monitoring spirit. They are monitoring Biafrans. If they can see a lot of money in your account, DSS will invite you to Abuja to come and explain where you got the money from. After all, you're a Biafran. Why should you have such excessive money? They need to approve for you to be rich. If you spend money too much, if you flash money too much, DSS will call you. But they don't call other ethnicity. They don't invite them. Only Biafrans. Monitoring spirit. Because we are under occupation. We are slaves in our own land. We have no freedom of expression. We have no freedom of association. We do as we are told, and not as we will please. That is not a sign of freedom. Just before the Civil War, the military government under General Gowon had begun the fragmentation process of the eastern region to weaken the ethnicities in Igbo land, ethnicities in every part of Biafra land. They try as much as they can to weaken them. Do you know what they did? They will come to Olo and take one town in Olo and put that town maybe to Ikwere or put it to wherever. They will go to Anambra, take another town or two towns, put them to another state. They scatter us around just to weaken us as a people so that we don't get that power to come together and think collectively. But thank God to Mazi Ikechukwu, who emerged, whom Elohim gave the message. And he came and, of course, enlightened us, showed us the way, told us the things that we don't know about ourselves. And that is why we are standing where we are standing today. And that is why Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha is preaching to you today. I never knew I would do this, but here I am doing it. And the only way forward for us as a people, the only approach for us as a people, the only way forward is the restoration of Biafra. Without Biafra, we are doomed forever. Biafra is the only hope we have. And I want to thank you because of your time for listening. And that is our duty and that is our job. And I believe that Elohim, who have given this word, not only that the word has gone out, but he is going to ensure that Biafra is restored in our own time. That is paramount. That is the most important part of the whole message, that Biafra is restored in our lifetime. Because if we can't do it, if we can't, then of course, I don't know what will become of our generation. But we must restore Biafra, and Biafra will come. From me, Mazi Ikechukwu Onuoha, from here, may God bless our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. May God bless the land that flows with milk and honey. May God bless the beautiful land of the rising sun, Biafra. From me, from here, it is goodbye. And I'll see you soon. God bless Biafra.